What is up, YouTube fam? Thank you, Mr. Helicopter. What's up, YouTube fam? Literally fresh off the UPS truck, we've got a box from Jesse at Trash Panda. I guess the helicopter was trying to bring our eyes to the sky because today we're talking ozones. But before we dive in, we gotta ask, Eric, how are you doing today? You having a good one?
So catch me if I fall.
All right, so for those of you who are not familiar, Trash Panda is a disc golf manufacturer started by Jesse, who started making discs in his garage from fully recycled plastic. I remember the dream of Jesse really pushing through and being like, hey, I want to do something that's never been done in the disc golf space. I literally don't know that I would have ever felt pushed to go over the edge and create content full time if it wasn't for Jesse. So it's just super awesome to be able to see him succeed. And with the fairway driver, he now has a complete lineup that can make a starter set. So super excited to check this out. Let's go ahead and rip it open and test out this Ozone. What I really like is that if you get a box from them, you know it's a box from them. Like, it makes it super exciting, especially if you're someone who receives a lot of packages, things like that. Like, the excitement for a Trash Panda box builds from the moment you see it, waiting in your mailbox, waiting on your front porch, whatever it may be. Super excited for this. From how Jesse's described this disc, throw the fun line seems to be like the vibe. Oh, okay. So, very interesting. First thing that I'm noticing off the bat is we have not seen this on any other Trash Panda disc other than, so they started like they had the ghost stamps that they could do. So this is the first one that we have the Ozone imprint on the bottom that you can see. Super, super sick. It's got the type of plastic so you can recycle it properly when it was made. And then plastic flexibility. That's new. I love that. But what I'm noticing is on the top, run one. Feels pretty great. They're domey. Like, they have a good bit of dome to them, which makes it interesting because I wonder if that's just going to give it a ton of glide. Every Trash Panda disc so far has been surprisingly glidey. Flight numbers on this, functioning flight numbers are 8.6, -3, 1. Now, I did get to feel one of these in the base plastic when they were trying it out for their Patreon. I will say, it feels, not that the base is bad, but this feels phenomenally better. I like this a lot in the premium plastic. It 8 speed, so it's a shallow rim. I have really big hands. I mean, just for size reference, like the normal fairway driver, my hand almost covers a whole fairway driver. We'll talk more about the disc feel. Looks like we got something else in the box. Looks like we got multiple other things in the box. Okay, so we got stickers. There you go. Throw the fun line. So we got 2 stickers. Bro, purple shirt. What? Oh my. Yo, throw the fun line. Throw the fun line. We got that, y'all. Trash Panda, it's that simple look. The new logo on the back, y'all. This is incredible. I've worn my Grow the Sport Sustainably Trash Panda shirt so many times that the print is starting to fade. So this is stoked. I'm pumped. But if we're gonna throw the fun line today, guys, I mean, here. So I'm gonna make this challenging, but here we go. So here we are, all swagged out. We've got our Ozones, and we are ready to rip on hole 1. 8.6, -3, 1. I know if I were Jesse, I would want to err on the caution of making people think they're flippier than they actually are. Just not as like a way to sell or anything, but like truly as a, it would be disappointing because I feel like if you have a disc that's sold as flippy and it's actually straighter than you would imagine, that's always the key because discs are always going to season in to become flippier. It's 279 feet to that middle position, so we should be able to just go ahead and rip this out there and see what happens. Oh, heads up. Okay. Oh, first throw. It's flippy. It's flippy. That makes me very excited here. That makes me very very excited. The shot shaping potential with this just on first 2 throws. Oh man, here we go. I really tried to just hit that first one smooth. I feel like I probably hit it pretty flat, like a little bit of hyzer. I don't really throw flat, but a little flat, and it just turned the whole way. And that was downhill, y'all. Most of the time when you throw downhill, if you don't match the slope, I feel like things can get a little more stability downhill. This is gonna be thrilling. Hole 2, this is also in the 200-foot range. Yeah, this is 281 feet. It's that yellow basket straight ahead. So seems like we have a little bit of headwind coming at us. We're gonna try to throw the fun line as much as we possibly can. So here are our line options. First one, it's not gonna be that fun. It's just gonna be nice and easy. But let me tell you, when you throw something that you can smooth out and get to fly straight so fast, that's pretty fun itself. And as someone whose natural release is a ton of hyzer, the easiness of this flip up, woo! And then the fun line, we're gonna try to see if we can't go pure Annie and just push it around the left side of that tree. That's gonna be very difficult to do. There it is, okay. You can see that thing gets from this much hyzer to flat, and then it goes back over. So eventually we'll have to test on some of these later holes if we can get it to go up from hyzer to up to turn. That's sick. Annie, this is a tricky shot. So we may end up just down the hill, but we're gonna try to go Annie up that right gap and just try to push her. Okay, it's tough to throw when you're a natural hyzer thrower trying to throw the anhyzer line, like pushing fast. Not my specialty. Y'all, not only did we get fade out of this thing, but like we faded a good bit. And they putt pretty good too. I'm just saying. Some might say out of this world, or maybe that's when the distance drivers come. Does the ozone layer count as being in space? Let me know, science folk. This is gonna be a great test for this. Traditionally, I would throw a forehand here, and I would throw a big forehand, flip up to the middle, and then crash over to the right. But this is gonna be a great test on if we can get this thing to roll over. It is 362 feet downhill, so I'm actually gonna try to throw them flat just to see what all we can do. She's flippy, but she skipped over the concrete, and for anyone that plays George Ward to land in concrete and still be in bounds, tricky. All right, so that flipped too much, so we're gonna try to give her a little more hyzer this time. Keep turning, okay. Okay, fascinating. So with enough hyzer, it's not gonna get up, at least I feel like without yamming on it, it's not gonna get up and roll over just yet. Well, let's see if we can create that line. All right. Here we are, hole 4. There is a basket, it's a yellow basket tucked over yonder, 325 feet, so we got 2 options here. We're gonna try to go for the low stinger. Now, the interesting thing is these things glide a lot. So we're gonna try to go for the low stinger, just hard, and let it push. Okay. That's what I thought was gonna happen. We threw it low, we just threw it too low, and it got up. You saw it went and got over. So you can overpower this, which is really great. But that makes me think immediately that there's gonna be multiple uses for this. For a slower arm speed, I don't know that this thing's gonna stand up a ton for you. Like, it's not gonna stand up and go all the way over. That's probably a better way to put it. I'm gonna try to see if I can go hyzer and roll this thing all the way over, forehand all the way around. A little too nosy. The forehand potential on this, it's kind of dirty. Let's see how she handles just pure raw. There's wind coming off of it, and we still almost just rung that up. Hole 5, 407 feet to that silver basket that's right out there. We're gonna go backhand and forehand because what we wanna test here is I wanna test the forehand, like how much I can hit it and see if it burns over or not. I'm gonna be gentle on the forehand, and honestly, I'm just gonna try to smooth the backhand and see, because the whole goal here is easy distance, 407 feet to the basket. Okay. Super nose up. Nice thing is you're seeing I'm like coming off the power a lot, and it's fading, which is phenomenal. That was such a low ever forehand, and I'm pretty confident we're in circle 2. 12 and a half. We are 38 feet from the basket. 38 feet from the basket, y'all. Oh, that's so silly. Basket locations are, I think, up to the high left and the straight. We're gonna go for the straight, see what we can do. We've been backing off on power on the backhand, so we're gonna try to pop this one and just send it. We're gonna end up sending both of them on backhand, just see what we can do. And we hit that tree. There we go. Oh, we got the turn out of her too. Did a little too high. So what we're learning is if you have a nose up angle issue, it still flips up, which is great. You can give these things some juice if you put hyzer on them. And if you give them some juice, even with that hyzer, they're still like, they're gonna flip up to flat. And with juice, they'll turn, but they aren't burning over as long as you start them on some hyzer. This is the most fun that I've had throwing a disc, really, since I threw the Rolo for the first time. But the thing with the Rolo is it's so understable that like you had to be somewhat touchy with this. You can still, depending on your arm speed, you can still give this some power as long as you have your angles right, which is so fun. We're gonna try just pure Annie over and see if we can get it to hold in the Annie. We're going into a headwind, and then we're also gonna try the forehand again, because the forehand is just causing me so much joy. That's 346 feet, and it just turned the whole way. Oh my gosh. That was the backhand. And that was the forehand. That was so fun. I think I'm gonna try the exact same thing. So these are C position, 341 feet over to the right. It's tucked behind. You gotta kind of throw it through these trees and let her slow turn. Let's see. Okay, that's gonna roll. You gotta keep an honest review. It's still rolling. What a journey that one went on. That one we got a little too excited. We pulled a little too hard. And that is parked on the 349 foot position. This is arguably one of the best tests that I can give this. This hole is 263 feet, but it is so uphill that this is traditionally this sort of final test. This is a hole, this is a shot shape that I end up putting like a super flippy fairway driver in my bag, or a flippy distance driver, just depends. Because when you're throwing uphill, throwing understable makes it way easier to throw uphill. The reason being, understable discs want to resist the flight that they're on, overstable discs want to lean into it. And when we're heading uphill, resisting the flight means that if you throw it on the right angle, it's going to stay in the air longer. It's not going to want to get to the ground as fast. So since the ground comes into play faster, because I'm going uphill and I'm getting to the ground faster, understable usually helps with that process. So we're going to try to see if we can't turn this. I'm going to throw it a little bit of hyzer, but probably mostly flat, to try to get this thing up there. And that's putting. There it is. Much better. All right, a little bit of extra glide because we're putting with a fairway driver. Let's see if we can't close this out. Here we go. How do we feel about the Ozone? The trick with this disc is that it's going to do so many things for so many people. Your slow arm speed, this could be a phenomenal first driver to get into. Let's say that you're someone who you get sold on the diamond. Someone's like, hey, Latitude 64, easy to use line. Check out the diamond, the sapphire, the jade. But you don't love throwing a lightweight disc, especially that light, because it makes it feel odd in your hand trying to get the rhythm of it. You throw a 375, 400. This disc, easy distance, so simple. You're looking for forehand distance. You just saw, I'm a player that has a 400 to 450 foot forehand comfortably, and you saw with an 8 speed how little effort I had to throw on this thing, and it stood up and it did its thing. This could be a phenomenal learning distance forehand disc. I would say I just ran out of holes inside this video to test it on, but really the only shot that we didn't see it do, because we saw it, we could go roller with it, we could go hold the turnover with it, we could go hyzer flip with it. I mean, that's a lot of boxes checked. If there's one box on the very bottom, and like I said, I just ran out of holes to test it on, is I never figured out the angle for me to be able to throw it on hyzer and have it stand up and turn. But I bet that angle exists. I just got it's probably like this much hyzer for a fresh one, and then it's gonna turn over. Or if you throw farther than me, maybe it's not. Maybe it's this much hyzer. I have to make a formal apology to DGA because the trimmer I've been hyping up. I've been telling people the trimmer, you need to put in your bag, you need to put in your bag. Why stay on the ground when you can soar into the clouds with the Ozone? Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again to Jesse and Trash Panda for sending these out, especially getting them to me ahead of time. They just went live on the website yesterday, so definitely check them out. I might have to get a run of these. What do you think? Comments? We supporting Trash Panda and Robbie C at the same time? Robbie C minis from Trash Panda? Options. Hope you have a great one. Please make it fantastic for someone else too. But for now, we're gonna leave you with the birdie.